Hello and welcome to Strange History, where we tell real stories from the real world. And while we do that, you practice your English. In this series, we travel across countries. We go through history. We explore power, fear, control, and sometimes hope. Today we go to Afghanistan, a country with high mountains, deep culture, and, for many years, silence. Yes, silence. Because from 1996 to 2001, music was banned, not just on TV, not just in schools. Everywhere. No drums, no radios, no singing at weddings, no humming in the street. Music became a crime. And this is not fiction. This is real. It was the law under a group called the Taliban. In this episode, we'll tell you the true story of how a nation lost its sound. Along the way, you'll learn new words, read with us, and hear real English, spoken clearly and slowly. So if you like strange history, if you want to see the world, and if you want to improve your English, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's go to a place where silence was stronger than sound. Let's begin. Afghanistan, a country with long mountains, dry deserts, and deep culture. In the past, people there loved music. They played traditional instruments like the rubab and tabla. Children sang in schools. Old songs played in tea houses. Radios brought music into homes, cars, and shops. It was part of daily life. It was normal, like food, like light. But in 1996, something changed. That year, a group called the Taliban took control of Afghanistan's capital, Kabul. They were strict, very strict. They said they wanted to bring religion and order. But their version of religion was extreme. They created a list of rules, and one rule surprised the world. No music. No music on the radio. No singing in schools, no dancing at weddings, no playing instruments at home, not even a phone ringtone. But that wasn't all. The Taliban banned many things. They banned TV, they banned movies, they banned dancing and photos. Women could not work, girls could not go to school. Can you imagine that? They took freedom from women. But they didn't stop there. People were shocked. They couldn't fight back against the rules. Music was not just fun. It was tradition. It was part of celebrations. Part of memory. Let me give you a clear picture. You walk through a market. You hear people speaking. You smell fresh bread. But there is no music, no sound from speakers, no beat in the air. Just silence. It feels wrong, like something important is missing. That's what life became. A country without rhythm, a culture without sound. And this was only the beginning. The Taliban banned music. But they couldn't erase it. Not completely. Because even under fear, people still remembered songs. Some families hid their cassette players inside blankets. At night, they pressed play for just a few seconds, enough to hear a melody, before stopping it again. In one town, a man built a secret shelf behind his wall. He kept old tapes there, songs from weddings, voices from long ago. He didn't play them often, but he couldn't throw them away. In some places, radios were hidden under carpets. In others, people covered the windows, afraid the sound might escape. But the Taliban didn't stop watching. They listened outside homes. They visited weddings, not to celebrate, but to check for music. There were reports of beatings, sometimes for a song, sometimes for just a ringtone. A man in Kandahar was punished because his child sang a cartoon theme in the street. A boy. Just a song. That was enough. This wasn't just about sound. It was about control. Control over joy. Control over memory. So what did people do? Some stopped listening. Some forgot the melodies. But others? They kept the music alive, not with speakers, but with silence. A hum in the kitchen. A rhythm tapped on the table. A melody whispered under the breath. They couldn't sing loudly, but they didn't forget the songs. And in 2001, everything changed. The United States and its allies entered Afghanistan. The Taliban fell. And for the first time in 5 years, the silence began to break. At first it was slow, careful, like someone opening a window after a long, dark winter. One day, in Kabul, a young man sold old cassette tapes on the street, voices from the past, ready to be heard again. In Herat, a teacher opened a school for music. The students? Boys and girls. Some had never heard a live song before. In Jalalabad, people danced again at weddings. A simple drum beat, a singer's voice, and people cried. Not because they were sad, because they could finally feel. Radios played again. TV came back. Some musicians returned from other countries. They brought instruments. They brought hope. One of them was Ahmad Sarmast, an Afghan man who studied music in Australia. He came back and said, "Music is not just entertainment. It is education. It is healing." He started the Afghanistan National Institute of Music. They taught classical music, Afghan folk, even Western styles. They gave children instruments and freedom, but not everyone was happy. The Taliban were still there, not in power but hiding, watching, waiting. And they still hated music. In 2014, during a school concert in Kabul, a bomb exploded. Many people were hurt. It was a message. But the students didn't stop. They played again, louder, stronger, together. Because now, music was more than culture. It was resistance. It was identity. For 20 years, Afghanistan tried to rebuild. Music schools opened. Young artists wrote new songs. Old instruments came back to life. People danced again. They played again. They felt hope. But in August 2021, everything changed again. The Taliban returned. They took over the capital. And just like before, they brought silence. Music schools were closed. Radio stations stopped. Musicians disappeared. Some ran away. Some were arrested. Some were never found. The Afghanistan National Institute of Music, the one started by Ahmad Sarmast, was shut down. Its students and teachers had to escape the country. Some of them now live in Portugal, where they still play. One girl from the school said, We lost our home, but not our music. This time people knew what was coming. They had seen it before, so they acted fast. Some buried their instruments. Some erased music from their phones. Others fled, ran away, with just one small bag and a flute inside. But even now, music lives on. Not in the streets of Kabul, but in memory. A radio station in the UK plays Afghan songs once a week. An orchestra in Portugal is made of Afghan children, and some people in Afghanistan still play in secret. Because music is not just sound, it is identity. It is resistance, fighting back without violence. It is survival. The Taliban can break instruments. They can silence radios. They can close schools. But they cannot stop the beat inside a person's heart. And we are still waiting. Waiting for the day when the people of Afghanistan can sing freely again and take back their music and their freedom. No matter where we live, no matter our language, religion, or culture, we are all human. There are borders on maps, but there should not be borders in our hearts. So from here to every corner of the world, I send my respect, I send my hope, and I send a song to freedom, to peace, to every voice that dares to sing. Thank you for listening to this story and for being here with me. With love, I see you, I hear you, and I'm so glad we met. Take care, and see you in the next strange history. I love you all.